So Scream 7 came out tonight, and I am ranking every death from this film. Put on your raincoats, because it's going to get bloody. Welcome back to the Ecto-Violence channel. Today we're ranking the deaths from Scream 7. Spoiler warning, obviously, if you haven't seen the film, I'm going to be naming these people and talking about their deaths in great detail. Let's hop on over to my tier list. Alright, so here we are. Again, spoiler warning. We are going to be talking about every one of these deaths from this film, starting out in order with the scene that we see in the trailer at the Stumacher house. These characters are named Scott and Madison. Of course, Scott is the first to die in Scream 7. Now, it's pretty fascinating. He comes in here and scares her in his little Ghostface outfit, and next thing you know, realizes that the Ghostface, animatronic is moving a little weird. And then he gets stabbed, I think in the chest or the gut, and then slowly stabbed in the side of the head. We get to see his eyes, really messed up from it. Pretty deranged. Pretty decent little start. The kills in this movie are definitely gorier than mostly anything from Scream 1 through 4. 5 and 6 definitely were a little bit gorier, which is something I do like about them. But just starting out, this is a decent little one. It's nothing crazy. I don't hate it, I don't love it. We're going to put it in the B tier. And that's because there are just, on a scale, so many better kills in this movie. And then we get Madison. And she might be the first... nope, never mind. I was going to say she might be the first person to burn alive in one of these movies, but I guess Amber was set on fire in Scream 5, so... We do get to see her fall on the knife like we do in the trailer. What we don't see in the trailer is that Ghostface also pours gasoline all over her before he exits the house. Which we kind of assumed she was going to be dead when he did that anyway, right? But again, I'm throwing that one in B tier. As far as an opening scene, it's pretty... I'm feeling pretty average for it in terms of Scream movies. Next up, we have Aaron. You'll notice I just have 2 pictures of McKenna Grace up next. That first one is just going to represent Aaron because I couldn't even find the actor's name who played him to properly, just grab a picture of them from anything else. But Aaron is helping McKenna Grace's character, Hannah, with, play practice. Theater practice, I should say. And he dies sort of off-screen. So, we are going to throw that in the D tier. Now, even as I'm doing that, I'm throwing a picture of her up there, strung up, and it kind of throws me off, but whatever, we're going to move past it. Because her actual death is pretty fantastic. And I feel like anytime I talk about McKenna Grace, I have to mention, yes, I have met her at a Ghostbusters after party. Because as Kanye West once said 20 years ago, my life is dope and I do dope shit. But this is one hell of a kill for a Scream movie. This really felt like something out of a I Know What You Did Last Summer film, which is something Kevin Williamson also wrote, so it's pretty fitting. We get to see her guts spill out everywhere, which is pretty cool. This is definitely an S tier kill for this movie. It worked well. We saw, some brief images of in the trailer. In fact, you look at that image that I have in the D tier that represents Aaron, just to be clear. It doesn't show her, organs hanging out of it and stuff. But in the movie, it does. Next up, we've got Carl. And this is something very interesting this movie does, which is kills one of the Ghostface killers halfway through the movie, maybe not even that, and we get a reveal. And this is someone that we did see their face earlier in the film for just that brief moment in Sydney's coffee shop. But the whole scene in the house, again, that was one sequence we saw go down in the trailer. And this is a character who's just being manipulated by Marco and Jess. I thought it was interesting and unique to do that, not necessarily the manipulation part, but killing off Ghostface halfway through, at least one of them, you know what I mean? Obviously, it was a surprise. It's something new, so I'll give him that. And I'm going to put it in the A tier, because it was kind of shocking, You didn't expect to see Ghostface hit by the car. And then you really didn't expect to see him tumbling under the wheels. That was surprising. Next up, we've got Chloe, played by Celeste O'Connor. Both Celeste O'Connor and McKenna Grace were in Ghostbusters Afterlife and Frozen Empire, so I'm very familiar with them already. And Chloe's a fun and interesting little character in here. She doesn't do a whole lot or anything, but when she's on screen, it is pretty fascinating. It's interesting. It's fun, she's like a pretty wholesome and relatable character, as far as teenagers go. Her kill, however, is pretty average. She's just kind of slid down the bar, gets a glass in her neck. I'm going to throw it in the B tier. It's kind of right in the middle of the road. You know, not particularly bad. Nothing to write home about, though. Character was better than the character's death, for sure. Next up, we've got Lucas. Now, this is where Ghostface becomes Michael Myers, right? I can't be the only one who thinks that when I see a kill like this. I wish I could show you images of it right now, but he's lifted onto a beer tap, and it's one of those ones with a custom thing, so it's spiked back there. When he slowly pushes his head down on it, and eventually it opens up and he's spewing beer and blood out of his mouth. You know, I don't drink much, but that kind of makes me want to set this up in my house. Get a bar going, you know. Despite all of that, I am still going to throw it in S tier because it's just so fucking weird. Everybody in the theater was laughing during this scene, you know what I mean? We all had a good time with it, so there's no denying. But I think true horror fans will also recognize that this is a fucking Michael Myers movie if I've seen one. Then you've got Ben, who is almost revealed to be like, oh, he could be the killer because he has the AI thing that he's doing. As soon as I saw that, though, I knew that that was like a red herring, like that wasn't going to be the case. And I certainly didn't expect him to just die on the street when he did. I expected him to maybe die, but survive a little bit longer than that. But when he did, I was like, oh, all right. But it is just another stabbing. And yeah, I'm wearing a stab shirt. These movies are, you know, built on stabbing people. It's just another sort of middle-of-the-road stabbing for this movie. Although it is in the neck, it's pretty bloody for what it is. I don't hate it. And lastly, we've got the two Ghostface killers. Marco, and by the way, I don't know if they ever say his name in the movie, but it is interesting. Marco being named after Marco Beltrame, assumably. Played by Ethan Embry, which is fascinating that Ethan Embry is now one of our Ghostface killers. The problem here, aside from his kill, I didn't even hear any sort of motive out of him. I heard her motive, but what? Did he fall in love with her and he's just I don't understand his why is he Ghostface? They kind of never even said that. So that's one thing we'll talk about in a later video, but he's also just kind of shot, and he shot so quick that I didn't even know. I was like, what just happened? They showed so few frames that I didn't know what was going on, and I was waiting for a few minutes there's no way he's actually dead. No, he was shot and killed there. So I'm going to throw in the C tier, because technically it wasn't an off-screen death, but whew, what the hell were they thinking there? For some reason, I feel like he could have had a better motivation than this other character, Jess. And maybe that's just because I like Ethan Embry. But Jess's motivation was total shit. It was muddy as hell, and it was just I was crazy, and I looked up to you, and then you didn't go and help those people in New York, so I'm mad at you. And then I don't know, it spewed into some other shit, but her actual death, whew. I haven't seen somebody's face literally shot off like this since Hitler in Inglourious Bastards. It was actually pretty incredible. So we're going S tier. Be sure to check back on this channel because I will be ranking all of the Ghostface killers again and the series as a whole. And I'll be doing a live spoiler review Tuesday night at 10 p.m. so come check that out as well. Let me know how you guys would rank these deaths in the comments down below. Which were your favorites? Which did you think were kind of weird or stupid for this franchise?